Good morning again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Hockey on the Spot. Brandon Barenfeld. I'm Brandon Barenfeld. Thank you for joining me. This is episode 103 of Hockey on the Spot. And today is going to be one doozy of an episode, that's for sure. Lots of updates, 11 games last night, and this day in hockey history from November 13th. So let's get to it now. Starting with an update from yesterday's GM's meeting. Yesterday's GM's meeting was a busy one, as they discussed a wide range of topics during the meetings. Among things being discussed, additional video review, hybrid icing issues, overtime extension to 10 minutes, bullying, preventing an issue that has come up in the NFL, the National Football League, protective equipment and the team's ability to enforce players to wear this equipment, shot blockers, etc. So lot to talk about to try to keep the players safe and to keep the game under control and to have less confusion in the game. Good job there. The Chicago Blackhawks have re-signed Andrew Shaw to a 2-year contract extension worth $4 million. He'll be getting $2 million a year. This is a good re-signing for the Hawks. He has become one of their most hard-working and most valuable players. He basically has taken Dave Bolland's spot. The role that Dave Bolland was expected to fulfill, he is fulfilling instead. Detroit Red Wings forward Dan Cleary was a healthy scratch last night. And meanwhile, the St. Louis Blues have signed defenseman Carlo Colaiacovo to a 1-year contract. Colaiacovo was a St. Louis Blue once before, and he was a very good player for them. He did not come back last year. Last year he went to the Detroit Red Wings and was a very big disappointment for them. He only played a few games because he spent most of the lockout-shortened year hurt. I believe he came back for the playoffs, but they did not like him, and he didn't play well for them, and he won. And now for Colaiacovo going back to the only team he seems to feel safe on. And he was a fan favorite in St. Louis as well, so it'll be good for them to have him back. New York Rangers forward Rick Nash is symptom-free from his concussion, and he says, "I just need to push myself more and more and see if any symptoms come back from it. But so far it's been good. I've been in touch with the doctors the whole time during this injury and with the trainers. We'll keep them in the loop. It's just kind of day-to-day and see how I feel." So great news for the New York Rangers. They definitely are going to need him back, and it's really starting to show now. The games have been a lot closer for the Rangers, and they need his power forward abilities, his ability to drive to the net and cause problems for the other team. So hopefully he can get back soon. The Vancouver Canucks have recalled David Booth after a 3-game conditioning stint with the American Hockey League's Utica Comets. The Canucks have also reassigned Darren Archibald to the farm club. So David Booth definitely ready to play now, and it's great. It's great that he is back. The NHL has unveiled the new Chrome Collection team logos for the Stadium Series. Tickets for the New York and LA games will go on sale next week, and the NHL will unveil team jerseys for all the outdoor games in the coming weeks. For everything on all NHL events, you guys can go to HockeyRumorsAndTrades.com, the website that I am going to be sponsoring quite often when I do my videos. So, Hockey Rumors and Trades, a shout out to you. New Jersey Devils forward Patrick Elias missed his 6th straight game last night with lingering back issues, and this is bad that he's not playing for the Devils. Even though they're getting by now, they would love to have him back in the lineup for sure. Calgary Flames defenseman Ladislav Schmid had this to say about his former team, the Edmonton Oilers. "They're going to start dealing guys. General Manager Craig McTavish is not afraid to move guys, for sure. He wants to succeed. He doesn't want to wait. I think there's been too much waiting. He's not going to mess around." That is what Schmid had to say about the Oilers. Montreal Canadiens forward David Desharnais was a healthy scratch for the second time this season last night as they tried to trade him. They are very much trying to trade him. Colorado Avalanche goaltender Semyon Varlamov's hearing has been set for December 2nd. Varlamov, who is out on bond, can continue to travel with the team until he has to face the domestic assault charges. So, hopefully, we'll see what happens here. But yeah. He's going to really be a big loss for the Avalanche when he does have to go. As good as Jean-Sébastien Giguère has been, they will need another goaltender for sure. Tampa Bay Lightning forward Steven Stamkos underwent successful surgery in Boston yesterday to stabilize a fracture in his right tibia. He is expected to return to Tampa Bay on Thursday, which is tomorrow, to begin rehabilitation immediately. His timetable remains anywhere between 3 to 6 months. The Montreal Canadiens have begun contract negotiations with P.K. Subban and Rafael Diaz, two really valuable defensemen on their blue line. And also want to clear this up. There has been much confusion with the new NHL divisions, ranking system, and playoff format. The Stanley Cup playoffs will consist of 16 teams, 8 in each conference, but it will be division-based, and a wild card system has been added as a new feature. The top 3 teams in each division will make up the first 12 teams in the playoffs. The remaining 4 spots will be filled by the next 2 highest-placed finishers in each conference, based on regular season points and regardless of division. It will be possible then for one division to send 5 teams to the postseason, while the other sends 3. The seeding of the wild card teams within each divisional playoff will be determined on the basis of regular season points. The division winner with the most points in the conference will be matched against the wild card team with the lowest number of points. The division winner with the second most points in the conference will play the wild card team with the second fewest points. So, there you have it. Washington Capitals forward Mikhail Grabowski has surpassed his point total last year with 17 points in 19 games. Last year with the Toronto Maple Leafs, he had just 16 points in 48 games. So congratulations to him. New Jersey Devils defenseman Anton Volchenkov was injured in last night's game and did not return due to a lower body injury. Washington Capitals forward Alexander Ovechkin is now tied with Alexander Steen and Steven Stamkos with 14 goals as he scored in overtime to beat the Columbus Blue Jackets 4-3. We'll talk more about that later. Dallas Stars forward Vernon Fiddler has asked for a trade because he's unhappy with his role on the team. Dallas has several trade partners that are interested but want a decent return. As per Darren Drager, the Toronto Maple Leafs are very close to moving John Michael Liles to the Carolina Hurricanes, and they are interested in making other moves. The Nashville Predators are in heavy talks with the Anaheim Ducks about Jonas Hiller as they suffer with Pekka Rinne out. If the timetable for Rinne's return is longer than expected, it's believed that the Preds will pull the trigger on a trade. The Edmonton Oilers have no intention of trading Nail Yakupov, but cannot give him more ice time until they trade Ales Hemsky. GM Craig McTavish spoke to Yak's agent Igor Larionov, and there are no issues there. The Oilers want Yakupov to start being a better defensive player, mature a little bit, and work on the issues in his game. Once Hemsky is traded and Yakupov is more well-rounded, he will be given a more prominent role. And last but not least, this is just in, the Buffalo Sabres have announced a major news conference at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. It's believed that Buffalo will announce a new position in the organization today, probably President of Hockey Operations. So that's good for the Buffalo Sabres. That is very good for the Buffalo Sabres. Um, and that is it for all the updates for now. We'll pick up if there's any more, we'll pick it up later. But for now, let us get to the games because we have a lot. 11 games. So let's go. Starting with the Los Angeles Kings and the Buffalo Sabres in Buffalo. A huge upset by the Buffalo Sabres as they defeat the LA Kings by a final score of 3-2 in a shootout. 3-2 in a shootout. Buffalo Sabres goaltender Ryan Miller stopped 45 shots to secure this win. Man, what an embarrassing loss for the LA Kings. The San Jose Sharks suffered the same fate a few nights ago, as we remember. Now it's the LA Kings' turn. LA did beat Buffalo once already at home, but Buffalo gets their revenge. But LA took a 1-0 lead, but then Cody Hodgson, who has been by far the best forward/defenseman for the Buffalo Sabres this season, scored 2 goals in the game, his 6th and 7th of the year, respectively. The first one assisted by Steve Ott and Matt Moulson. The second one assisted by Tyler Ennis and Matt Moulson, that one coming on the power play. For the Los Angeles Kings, their goals being scored by Justin Williams, his 7th of the year, assisted by Slava Voinov, that just coming a minute 17 into the game. And then to tie the game at 2, Dwight King would score his 5th of the year, assisted by Tyler Toffoli and Mike Richards. In the shootout, the Sabres would go with Matt Moulson, Cody Hodgson, and Tyler Ennis, while the Kings would go with Mike Richards and Trevor Lewis. Matt Moulson and Tyler Ennis would both score for the Sabres. Cody Hodgson would miss. Tyler Ennis' shootout goal was the shootout winner. Both Mike Richards and Trevor Lewis would miss for the Kings. It was not necessary for them to have a third shooter. For the Buffalo Sabres, again, they were totally outshot in the game. 2 goals for Cody Hodgson, 2 assists for Matt Moulson. 4 penalty minutes for Christian Ehrhoff to lead the team in that regard. 4 shots on goal for Cody Hodgson and Drew Stafford. And how about hits? How about Steve Ott? 10 hits in the game. Nobody had more hits than him. Man, that's the kind of player the captain is. And, man, he was just a machine out there. He had a great game for the Buffalo Sabres last night. And Marcus Foligno had 5 hits. Corey Tropp, 4 hits. So lots of hitting going on for the Buffalo Sabres in this game. That's what they got to do in order to win games. Zemgus Girgensons and Brian Flynn both led the team with 4 blocked shots. And Ryan Miller truly was the star of the game. 43 saves on 45 shots, a .956 save percentage. The Kings just dominated the game, but Ryan Miller was the man that kept them in it. For the LA Kings, again, they were shooting machines in this game. Nobody shot more, however, than Drew Doughty and Mike Richards, both with 6 shots each. Matt Fratton had 5, and Anze Kopitar had 4. So those were really all the standouts for the Kings. Nobody really stood out as far as hits or block shots for them. Jonathan Quick pretty much played the majority of the game. He didn't really had to face too much. 15 saves on 17 shots and .882 save percentage. He didn't play terrible, but he was good on the shots that he did face, but still. Yet, for some reason, Jonathan Quick did leave at the end of the game, and with just 1:20 remaining in overtime, Ben Scrivens would take his place. Don't know why. He didn't face any shots. And I guess maybe it must have been some kind of equipment issue, but that kind of opened the door for the Sabres because Scrivens would also play in the shootout, and Scrivens would be the one to get the loss. I'd say this is the first time a goaltender has lost a game, has come in, and one of the first times I've seen that a goaltender has come in without facing any shots and lost a game. I don't remember too many other times. I remember one other time. when Curtis Joseph came in for Vesa Toskala of the Toronto Maple Leafs, came in for the shootout against the Anaheim Ducks and lost. So, very interesting turn of events. But again, big upset by the Buffalo Sabres over one of the most elite teams in the National Hockey League, or a team that's supposed to be considered that at least. Again, Jeff Carter. This team is missing Jeff Carter for sure. They're also missing Matt Green and Jarrett Stoll. So, the Kings in a bit of a flux right now. So, congratulations to the Buffalo Sabres, a much-needed win. Next, we have the Nashville Predators and the New York Islanders. On the island, the Islanders coming up big with a 3-1 win. For the New York Islanders, their goals being scored by John Tavares on the power play, assisted by Franz Nielsen. Man, he is just continuing to have an unbelievable season. Then Pierre-Marc Bouchard would score his 4th of the year, assisted by Franz Nielsen. And then Kyle Oposo would score his 6th of the year, assisted by John Tavares and Brock Nelson. John Tavares, a goal and an assist, and Franz Nielsen, 2 assists in the game. So, good job by them. 5 penalty minutes for Matt Martin to lead the team. Shots on goal, Michael Grabner and Pierre-Marc Bouchard both led the team with 4. Hits, Matt Martin's department right there, he led the team with 5. And block shots, Casey Cizikas led the team with 4. Kevin Poulin got the starting goal, and he was their best player. 32 saves on 33 shots, a .970 save percentage. An unbelievable performance by Kevin Poulin. And this team's still without Thomas Vanek, by the way. But good job by the Islanders. I believe they end a losing streak here. For the Nashville Predators, they do manage to end a goal-scoring slump, but they still get the loss. Patrick Hornquist gets his 5th of the year, assisted by David Legwand and Shea Weber. Penalty minutes, Rich Clune led the team with 7, and he also led the game. Dave Legwand had 4. Shots on goal, Patrick Hornquist led the team and the game with 6. And as far as block shots go, Seth Jones led the team with 6 block shots. He also led the game. Matt Hendricks was second with 4. Nashville, major defensive team. Marek Mazanec got the start and goal, and he faced just as many shots as Kevin Poulin, but was not as good. 30 saves on 33 shots, a .909 save percentage, which I guess isn't terrible, but it's the Preds' inability to score goals that just kills them in the end. Anyway, congratulations to the New York Islanders, and man, do the Nashville Predators need help. Next up, we have the New Jersey Devils and the New York Rangers at the Garden. Rangers had a bit of a win streak going, but that win streak has come to an end. The New Jersey Devils coming up with a big win by a final score of 3-2. They have now won 3 in a row, their longest win streak of the season. Very frustrating for Ranger fans always to lose to the Devils, that's for sure. New Jersey Devils goals being scored by Ryan Carter, who had 2 in the game, his first 2 goals of the season. His first being scored by Andy Green, being assisted by Andy Green, and the second one was assisted by Adam Larson and Peter Harold. That came just under a minute to go in the second. Then, late in the third, Dinas Zubris would score the game winner for his 3rd of the year, assisted by Travis Zajac and Jaromir Jagr. Jaromir Jagr, now another point for him. He is the Devils' leading scorer this season. 2 goals for Ryan Carter. He was the best player on the ice. He always has a great game against the Rangers. He loves to play them. Jagr, 4 penalty minutes to lead the team. As far as shots on goal go, Andrei Laktianov and Jaromir Jagr both led the team with 4. And as far as block shots are concerned, Andy Green led the team and the game with 5. Martin Brodeur got the start, and as always, he takes his game to another level whenever he plays against the Rangers. He did not play against them in the last meeting. That was Corey Schneider, but man, Marty Brodeur just loves to play against the Rangers. 33 saves on 35 shots on 943 save percentage. Good job by Marty Brodeur. Although his shutout streak did come to an end. Yep, the New York Rangers, for them, he would end the Brodeur shutout streak. Both of their goals coming from defensemen. Mark Stahl tied the game almost immediately after Carter made it 1-0. His second of the year, assisted by Matt Zuccarello and Chris Kreider. And then Dan Girardi, at long last, would get his first goal of the season, assisted by Chris Kreider and Ryan McDonough. Chris Kreider, 2 assists in the game. He's a guy who loves to play against the Devils. He always has a good game against the Devils. And the Rangers actually outshot the Devils here. Derek Stepan led the team with 5 shots on goal. Dan Girardi, Ryan McDonough, and Matt Zuccarello each with 4. Hits, as far as hits are concerned, Ryan Callahan doing what he does best, leading the team and the game with 7 hits. He hates the Devils, you can tell. But not a great night for Michael Del Zotto. 3 giveaways in the game, which is not good by any stretch. Henrik Lundqvist was good, not great. He did let in a bad goal. Ryan Carter's second of the season was one he definitely should have had. But he made 25 saves on 28 shots and 893 save percentage. So he'll hope for a better start next time. Rangers now get 4 days off before going out to their personal house of horrors, the Bell Center, to play the Montreal Canadiens. That'll be on Saturday. Congratulations to the New Jersey Devils. Rangers will get some much-deserved time off. Next, we have the Columbus Blue Jackets and the Washington Capitals in Washington. The Caps coming up big with a 4-3 win in overtime. Sorry about that, guys. The Washington Capitals coming up big with a 4-3 win in overtime. So a big win by them. After a scoreless first period, the Blue Jackets took the lead twice. They were winning 1-0 and then 3-2. The Caps would tie the game at 1 on a goal by John Carlson, his 4th of the year, assisted by Martin Erat and Mikhail Grabovski. Then Joel Ward would score his 9th of the year via a short-handed goal, assisted by Alexander Urban, his first assist of the season, and Brooks Laich. Then after the Jackets took a 3-2 lead late in the game, Mikhail Grabovski ties it up with his 6th of the year, assisted by Jason Chimera and Mike Green. And then in overtime, Alex Ovechkin ties the goal-scoring race lead, ties Alexander Steen and Steven Stamkos with his 14th of the year to win it in overtime, assisted by Marcus Johansson and John Carlson. Congrats to Ovi. Obviously, Stamkos will most likely be out of the race now, as he is expected to miss 3 to 6 months. For the Washington Capitals, a couple guys with multiple points. John Carlson and Mikhail Grabovski, each with a goal and an assist in the game. Shots on goal. Alex Ovechkin always seems to lead the team in shots. He was in a bit of a funk with that, but now is back to his usual self, posting 6 shots on goal to lead the team and the game. Jason Chimera had 5, that was second, and tied for third, Joel Ward, John Carlson, and Marcus Johansson, each with 4. Hits, as far as hits are concerned, Troy Brouwer, he had a night as far as hitting goes, 8 hits for him. Wow, that's a lot of hits. Braden Holtby got the start and was solid enough to get the win. 24 saves and 27 shots and 889 save percentage. Not the best performance I've seen. Not the best statistics by a goaltender, but good enough to get the win. For the Columbus Blue Jackets, their goals being scored by Brandon Dubinsky. He made it 1-0 via a short-handed goal, his 5th of the year, assisted by Mark Letestu. So both teams getting a short-handed goal in the game. Then Jared Bull would get his first goal of the season, assisted by James Wisniewski and Sean Collins. Congratulations to Sean Collins, his first NHL assist and first NHL point. Congrats to him. And then Cam Atkinson would make the game 3-2 with his 5th of the year, assisted by Brandon Dubinsky. So a goal and an assist for Brandon Dubinsky. As far as shots on goal are concerned, Marian Gaborik, Cam Atkinson, and Artem Anisimov each led the team with 4 hits. Jack Johnson led the team with 5. Jared Boll was second with 4. And as far as block shots are concerned, Nikita Nikitin and Jack Johnson each had 4 to lead the team. Sergei Bobrovsky got the start, and it was not a great performance by him. 30 saves on 34 shots and .882 save percentage. He also had a penalty in the game, man, the Jackets did get a point, but not good enough to get the win. Congratulations to the Washington Capitals and Alex Ovechkin on his accomplishment. Next, we have the Colorado Avalanche and the Carolina Hurricanes in Carolina. How about the Carolina Hurricanes handing the Avs their 3rd loss of the season? Final score 2-1. For the Carolina Hurricanes, their goals being scored by Jordan Staal, his 3rd of the year, assisted by Nathan Gerbe and Patrick Dwyer. And then Patrick Dwyer would get his 1st of the season, assisted by Nathan Gerbe and Jordan Staal. So those 3 guys doing all the scoring for the Carolina Hurricanes. A goal and an assist for Jordan Staal, a goal and an assist for Patrick Dwyer, and 2 assists for Nathan Gerbe. Shots on goal, Nathan Gerbe led the team with 5. Ryan Murphy was second with 4. Hits, Tuomo Ruutu, Jay Harrison, and Brett Belmore each had 4 to lead the team. And how about Eric Staal? Even though he didn't score in the game, 4 takeaways, which is unbelievable. Andrei Sekera was second with 3. So, the Avs giving up the puck quite a bit in the game. Justin Peters got the start, and he was truly fantastic. It seems like he's finally starting to find his groove, getting into the swing of things. He made 33 saves on 34 shots and .971 save percentage. He is finding his place in the NHL now. He's now getting used to the net, which is great for the Hurricanes. They need this with their 2 goaltenders out. For the Colorado Avalanche, their only goal of the game being scored by Paul Stastny, his 7th of the year on the power play, assisted by Nathan MacKinnon and Gabriel Landeskog. As far as shots on goal are concerned, how about Nathan MacKinnon? 9 shots on goal to lead the team and the game. That is a lot of shots. Matt Duchene was second with 5, and Ryan O'Reilly was 3rd with 4. Hits, Gabriel Landeskog would lead the team and the game with 7 hits. Patrick Bordeaux was second with 5. And then Nate Gennon, Eric Johnson, Jan Hayda, and Cody McLeod with 4 each. So the Avalanche dominating the game, but the Hurricanes' goaltending and defense get it done. Semyon Varlamov gets the start, and he was good despite the loss. 26 saves and 28 shots and .929 save percentage. So congratulations to the Carolina Hurricanes. What an upset this is. Congrats to the Canes. Next, we have the Steven Stamkos-less Tampa Bay Lightning and the Montreal Canadiens. In Montreal, despite no Steven Stamkos, the Lightning still come up with a big win. 2-1 in the shootout, the final score. The Caps get a point, but not the win. For the Tampa Bay Lightning, their only goal of the game being scored by Ryan Malone, his 3rd of the year, assisted by Eric Brewer and BJ Crombeen. Meanwhile, for the Montreal Canadiens, Danny Briere, who played in this game, Danny Briere played his first game since suffering that concussion. Danny Briere back in the lineup, and he celebrates with his 2nd goal of the season, assisted by Max Pacioretty. In the shootout, Tampa Bay Lightning go with Valtteri Filppula and Teddy Purcell. That is all they would end up needing. The Montreal Canadiens would go with Alex Galchenyuk, Daniel Briere, and Brendan Gallagher. All 3 of those guys would miss, as would Teddy Purcell. Valtteri Filppula scoring the only goal for either team in the shootout. which allows for the shootout victory by the Tampa Bay Lightning. As far as shots on goal are concerned, the Tampa Bay Lightning completely outshooting the Montreal Canadiens in the game. Matt Carle, the only player for the Lightning who did not register at least a shot. But as far as but Teddy Purcell, 6 shots on goal, he led the team in that regard. 6 shots on goal for him, 5 for Victor Hedman, 4 for Valtteri Filppula. Man, lots of shooting for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Hits, Richard Panik led the team with 5. And as far as blocked shots go, Matt Carle led the team with 4. So playing the role of defensive defenseman in this game. Ben Bishop was spectacular once again, with making 28 saves on 29 shots, a .966 save percentage. With Steven Stamkos out, he is going to have to continue playing on his head. He's going to have to continue playing on his head and playing great hockey. So congratulations to him and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Ben Bishop now 12-2-0, which is remarkable. For the Montreal Canadiens, they didn't generate as many shots. However, P.K. Subban led the team and the game with 8 shots, which is remarkable. Brian Giunta was second with 6. So those guys doing most of the shooting. P.K. Subban, 8 shots. That's remarkable for a defenseman. As far as block shots are concerned, Josh Georges led the team and the game with 5. Douglas Murray was second with 4. Despite the loss, Carey Price may have been the best player on the ice overall. He was the first star of the game. 44 saves on 45 shots, a .978 save percentage. My gosh. Carey Price. What a performance by him. He allows the Canadiens to get a point. If not for him, it would have easily been a 6-0 game. But he allows a point by the Habs. Congratulations, though, to the Tampa Bay Lightning on getting the win. Next, we have the Philadelphia Flyers and the Ottawa Senators in Ottawa. What an upset by the Flyers. A 5-0 shutout victory for the Flyers in Ottawa. What a game for them. Again, the Flyers doing all the goal scoring in this game. Their goals being scored by Matt Reed, his 4th of the season, assisted by Steve Downey and Sean Couturier. Steve Downey back in the lineup after missing a few games. Then Jakub Voracek would score 2 goals, his 2nd and 3rd of the season respectively. The first one assisted by Scott Hartnell and Claude Giroux. The second one coming on the power play, assisted by Wayne Simmons and Claude Giroux. Then Vincent Lecavalier would score his team-leading 7th of the season, assisted by Braden Shen. And then Braden Shen would score his 4th of the year on the power play, assisted by Vincent Lecavalier and Eric Gustafson. So, a goal and an assist for Braden Shen, 2 assists for Claude Giroux, a goal and an assist for Vincent Lecavalier, and 2 goals by Jakub Voracek. So those are the multi-point performers. How about Scott Hartnell? 6 shots on goal. He led the team in that regard. He led the team and the game, in fact. Wayne Simmons and Claude Giroux second with 4 each. Hits? Zach Ronaldo. He was a machine out there. 6 hits in the game. Jay Rosehill had 5. That was second. And Luke Shen, who did play his first game in a while, was third with 4. Good game by the Flyers and good game by Steve Mason. He powered the Flyers to a 24 save shutout. Congratulations to Steve Mason. For the Ottawa Senators, nobody on the board for this one. Zach Smith leading the team with 4 shots on goal. It was all about hitting for the Ottawa Senators. Jared Cowan and Colin Greening each leading the team with 6 hits each. Mark Borowiecki was second with 5. Kyle Turris, the only player on the Sens who didn't register at least 1 hit, as well as Corey Conacher. Those are the only 2. Oh, and Jason Spezza. But it was a bad game for the Sens. Mark Borowiecki, 4 giveaways in the game. Even though he had 5 hits, he had 4 giveaways, so not a good game for him. Bobby Ryan may have been the best player for the Sens. Maybe not. He had 3 takeaways, but he also gave away the puck twice, so I take that back. I'd say Colin Greening may have been the best player for the Sens in this game for a game that was not very good at all. Craig Anderson got the starting goal, and he played the entire game. Not a good game for him, that's for sure. 26 saves on 31 shots and .839 save percentage. Not a good game by Craig Anderson. And by the way, this was his first game back in the lineup since November 3rd, where he got injured. So he's going to try to get his game back into shape. But congratulations to the Philadelphia Flyers on a huge win. Next, we have the Winnipeg Jets and the Detroit Red Wings in Detroit. How about the Winnipeg Jets? Getting totally outplayed and outshot in the game, but still come up with the victory 3-2 in a shootout. The Red Wings get a point, but not the win. Winnipeg never trailed. They led the game twice. Their goals being scored by Brian Little, his 11th of the year, assisted by Blake Wheeler and Andrew Ladd. And then Zach Bogosian would get his first of the season, assisted by Olli Jokinen and Evander Kane. And for Zach Bogosian, again, his first goal of the season. He hadn't scored a goal in a while. He got a goal last season. He got 5 goals last season. His first goal since April 20th of 2013 against the New York Islanders. He had a 2-game goal-scoring streak then. Good accomplishment for the big 6'3" defenseman. For the Detroit Red Wings, Pavel Datsyuk did all the goal scoring for the Detroit Red Wings in this game. Both goals coming on the power play, his 8th and 9th of the year respectively. His first one being assisted by Henrik Zetterberg and Niklas Kronwall, and the second being assisted by Johan Franzen and Daniel Alfredsson. So 4 different Swedes getting assists on both of the Russians' goals. In the shootout, the Detroit Red Wings went with Pavel Datsyuk, Daniel Alfredsson, and Todd Bertuzzi, while the Winnipeg Jets went with Devin Setoguchi and Andrew Ladd. For the Winnipeg Jets, both of their shooters would score. That is all they would need. Devin Setoguchi and Andrew Ladd would both score. Ladd is now a perfect 5 for 5 in shootouts this year. He has been the best player in the shootout for any team, and he scores the shootout winner. For the Detroit Red Wings, Daniel Alfredsson would score in the shootout for them. He would be the only goal scorer in the shootout. Both Pavel Datsyuk and Todd Bertuzzi would miss. For the Winnipeg Jets, they didn't have that many shots on goal. Andrew Ladd led the team with 4. Zach Bogosian led the team with 4 hits. So not too many standout statistics there. However, the only real standout guy was the goaltender, Andrei Pavlik. He allowed the win for this team. 41 saves on 43 shots, a .953 save percentage through 65 minutes of play. Surprisingly enough, he was the 3rd star, not the 1st star. I don't understand it. He definitely should have been the 1st star. They gave that honor to Pavel Datsyuk. The 2nd star was the captain, Andrew Ladd. So I don't understand it, to be honest. For the Detroit Red Wings, again, 2 goals for Pavel Datsyuk. As far as shots on goal are concerned, Michael Samuelsson led the team with 5, and then Daniel Alfredsson, Pavel Datsyuk, and Johan Franzen each had 4. 4 hits for Darren Helm. He led the team in that regard. 3 takeaways by Kyle Quincy, so he had a solid game despite being a -1. Jimmy Howard didn't face much. 19 saves on 21 shots, a .905 save percentage. So now Jimmy Howard is 5-5-5 on the season. He is exactly 500. But if you want to combine overtime/shootout losses and regulation losses, Jimmy Howard is now 5-10. So he's got to get better. And so do the Detroit Red Wings. Congrats to the Winnipeg Jets. Next up, we have the Anaheim Ducks and the Florida Panthers in Florida. This is probably the upset of the night right here. Anaheim looking to extend their win streak looking to extend their win streak. They are on a 5-game winning streak. Panthers looking to snap a 9-game losing streak, and the Panthers do just that, not only defeating the Anaheim Ducks by a final score of 3-2, but erasing a 2-0 deficit in the process. The Anaheim Ducks are going to be feeling that sting in the morning. This is a real embarrassing game for them, for their first of a 4-game road trip back in the Eastern Conference. After the Ducks took a 2-0 lead, it was all Panthers. Sean Matthias got it started with his second of the year, assisted by Brian Campbell and Chris Barch. For Chris Barch, that's his first assist and point of the season. Then Scotty Upshaw would tie up the game just a shade over a minute later with his third of the year, assisted by Eric Goodbranson and Jonathan Huberdeau. That was a fluke goal, by the way, and that really changed the momentum of the game. And in the third period, Brad Boyes would score his 6th of the year, assisted by Scotty Upshaw. That would be the game winner. So there you have it there. And for the Panthers, a goal and an assist for Scotty Upshaw. He may have been the best player he was the best player on the ice for the Florida Panthers. That's for sure. Shots on goal, Scotty Upshaw and Brad Boyes each led the team with 4. And as far as hits go, Scotty Upshaw led the team with 5. Second was Dmitry Kulikov and Mike Weaver. They both had 4. So, big game for those guys. How about the performance of Tim Thomas in goal? 32 saves and 34 shots, a .941 save percentage. Congratulations to him and the Florida Panthers. For the Anaheim Ducks, still without Ryan Getzlaf, he did not play in the game. Andrew Cogliano scores his 6th of the year just 40 seconds into the game, assisted by Daniel Winnick and Devontae Smith-Pelly. And then later in the first, Hampus Lindholm, the young, outstanding rookie defenseman, would score his 2nd of the year, assisted by Nick Bonino and Emerson Edom. For the Anaheim Ducks, Emerson Edom led the team with 6 shots on goal. He also led the game in that regard. Dustin Penner and Hampus Lindholm were second with 4 hits. Brian Allen, 6 hits in the game to lead the team and the game. And Francois Beauchemin was second with 4. So the Ducks dominating in most ways except goals. Frederik Andersen gets his first loss of his career and his first loss of the season. 22 saves on 25 shots and .880 save percentage. Congratulations to the Florida Panthers on ending the Ducks' win streak and ending their own losing streak. Next up, we have the Phoenix Coyotes and the St. Louis Blues in St. Louis. The Yotes coming up big with a 3-2 win in overtime. For the Phoenix Coyotes, they were down 1-0 in the game until David Moss would tie it up with his first of the season, assisted by Mike Ribeiro and Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Then Michael Bodker would convert his 4th of the year, just 31 seconds left in the first period, assisted by Rob Klinkhammer and Rostislav Klesla. That's his first assist. That is his first assist of the season. Then after the Blues tied it in the third period, in overtime, just 56 seconds into overtime, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, continuing his fantastic season. His 4th of the year would be the overtime winner, assisted by Mike Ribeiro and the captain, Shane Doan. Only 2 penalties in the whole game, one by each team. A goal and an assist for Oliver Ekman-Larsson and 2 assists for Mike Ribeiro. Those are your multi-point performers. And the Yotes, they barely even had any shots on goal. Michael Bodker led the team with 4, but everyone else had either 3 or less. Wow, not a lot of shooting going on for the Yotes, that's for sure. Block shots was a big thing for them, though. Zbigniew Michalek led the team with 5, and Dave Schlemko was second with 4. Mike Smith was the star of the game once again. 37 saves on 39 shots, a .949 save percentage through 60 minutes and 56 seconds of play. For the St. Louis Blues, their goals being scored by Maxime Lapierre, his 2nd of the year, assisted by Jay Bouwmeester and Alex Pietrangelo. And then in the third period, Roman Polak would tie the game at 2 with his 2nd of the year, assisted by Alexander Steen and David Backes. A shooting gallery for the Blues. They had 5 different guys who led the team with 4 shots on goal. Derek Roy, Patrick Berglund, Roman Polak, TJ Oshie, and Vladimir Tarasenko. They all led the team with 4 shots on goal. As far as hits are concerned, Vladimir Sobotka and David Backes led the team with 4 hits. They were good hitters in the game. Yaroslav Halak played the entire game for the St. Louis Blues, and it was not a good game for him by any means. Just 16 saves on just 19 shots, an .842 save percentage, so not a good night whatsoever for the St. Louis Blues. And the Yotes, by the way, without Martin Hanzal, and without Radim Vrbata as well. So he is their top goal scorer. So congratulations to the Phoenix Coyotes on a huge win. Blues get a point, but they would have wanted the win. And last but certainly not least, the San Jose Sharks and the Calgary Flames in Calgary. The Sharks coming up big with a 3-2 win in overtime. Flames get a point. They would have wanted the win, but they managed to come back and erase a 2-0 deficit to get that point, but not finish in overtime. For the San Jose Sharks, they end a 5-game losing streak of their own. Their goals being scored by Logan Couture just a minute 32 into the game, his 8th of the year, assisted by Patrick Marleau and Tyler Kennedy. Then on the power play, under a minute to go in the first, on the power play, Patrick Marleau puts in his 9th of the year, assisted by Joe Pavelski and Joe Thornton. And in overtime, a minute 13 into overtime, Brad Stewart gets his first of the season to win it in overtime, assisted by Joe Thornton and Dan Boyle. He did not score a goal in the regular season last year. His only goal last season came in the playoffs for the San Jose Sharks. We were about to discover when exactly that was. His only goal last year came in the playoffs, May 16th, 2013, in Game 2 versus the Los Angeles Kings. He had a goal and an assist in that game. But last year was not a great season for Brad Stewart. So he's really happy to have that goal for sure. Congratulations to him. He gets a huge monkey off his back. Patrick Marleau, a goal and an assist in the game. Joe Thornton, 2 assists in the game. And as far as shots on goal are concerned, James Shepard and Logan Couture leading the team with 5 each. And then third was Joe Pavelski with 4. Not too many hits by the Sharks, though. Alex Stalock would get the starting goal, just his second start of his career, and he gets his second win. But he didn't face that much. He only faced 13 shots, and he made 11 saves, an .846 save percentage. 11 saves on 13 shots, an .846 save percentage. So it was not a shooting night for the Calgary Flames, that's for sure. Good job by Alex Stalock to stop what he did. For the Calgary Flames, both their goals coming in the third period. The first goal being scored by Chris Russell on the power play, his 3rd of the year, assisted by Sean Monahan. And then Mike Camilleri would score his 8th of the season to tie the game, assisted by Chris Butler. For the Calgary Flames, they get totally outplayed and outshot in this game. Chris Russell was good. Surprisingly enough, Chris Russell had 5 shots on goal. He was the only guy doing any kind of shooting for the Flames. The Flames, barely any shots through the first 2 periods of play. Hits. TJ Gagliardi would lead the Flames with 6 hits over his former team. So he had a solid game. And how about block shots? How about Chris Butler? Not only an assist and a hit in the game, but 8 hits. 8 block shots. 8 block shots. If it weren't for him or TJ Brody, who had 6 block shots, the Sharks would have had way more shots on goal. We're talking about 14 more shots on goal, and that we're talking about 49 shots for the Sharks. My gosh. Rito Berra got the start and goal for the Flames, and he was actually the first star of the game. And I could see that. He actually was the reason that the score wasn't worse than it should have been. 32 saves on 35 shots and 914 save percentage. Congratulations, though, to the San Jose Sharks on a humongous win and ending their win streak. Flames get a point, but not the win. And that is it for the games for today. And by the way, we do have another update for you. We found out who is going to be named president of hockey operations for the Buffalo Sabres. Pat LaFontaine will be named the Sabres president of hockey operations and will make all hockey-related decisions. Meanwhile, other reports say that general manager Darcy Regier and coach Ron Rolston are out, and Ted Nolan is returning as head coach. Ted Nolan has not coached in the National Hockey League for a very long time. He last coached in 2007, 2008, I believe, as head coach of the New York Islanders. So it'll be good to see him back in the head coaching position. And, of course, as we know, he will also be the head coach for Team Latvia in the 2014 Winter Olympics in Sochi. Now, with all that being said, let's go to this day in hockey history from November 13th. November 13th, 1950 was the day that Canadian native and Buffalo Sabres forward Gilbert Perreault was born. He spent all 17 NHL seasons in Buffalo. His number 11 was retired in his honor in Buffalo. He scored 512 regular season goals and 33 goals in the playoffs. He also added 814 regular season assists and 70 assists in the playoffs. Gilbert Perreault played for Team Canada in the 1972 Summit Series, and in 1976 and 1981, he played for Canada in the Canada Cup Series. In the 1981 Canada Cup, Perreault played with Wayne Gretzky and Guy Lafleur in one line. He was introduced into the NHL Hockey Hall of Fame in 1980. As we all know, Gilbert Perreault was a first overall draft pick by the Buffalo Sabres, and it was really him that changed the way the NHL looked at the NHL draft. It changed the way the players got drafted. So a great honor indeed for him to get drafted that high, and he deserved it. He's a great player. He really is a great player. So with that being said, that is your moment for today. And that'll do it for a very long episode, number 103 of Hockey on the Spot. Thank you guys for joining me. Sorry for the phone rings earlier. I just got one there. I got to answer that. But anyway, this has been Hockey on the Spot with Brandon Barenfeld. I'm Brandon Barenfeld. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Thank you and have a great day.